This sister says,
I said, don't beat me. African Muslims, this is a genuine flabbergastation. I thought you guys spoke Arabic. This entire time, I thought when they're teaching you the Quran, they are also teaching you Arabic. But again, why would they teach you that language? They're only teaching you just enough to keep you in the fields. Because let's not forget, the Arabs were our first enslavers, and then they were complete. You go there as a slave, you die. No descendants, no evidence, no nothing. This whole time, I thought they were giving you spirituality and they were teaching you the language. Why are they creating a language barrier between you and your God? Why wouldn't God speak to you in a language that you were born with? Do you see how that is grounds for an inferiority complex already? This every day I see kids here on live learning the Quran, and I'm like, Kasa, they are learning Arabic. Fazari, polyglots. Wah.
now these sisters related a lot of issues from slavery to Africans to language. She's saying, why can't God speak to us in a language that we understand best? Now, I want to tackle this from an Islamic point of view, what they teach us. You get the point? We believe as Muslims, our last messenger, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was the one that God spoke to. In Islam, we don't have these things that, God spoke to me and I start up a church. No. Or I start up a mosque. No. We believe that God last spoke to us through the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. But now, why is it that I have to recite or read the Quran in a language that I am not native to, that I don't understand? Actually, before I even go further, let me inform you that you were wrong by saying that people who teach the children or whoever learn Quran in Africa here are not taught Arabic. I can take you to very many Quran and Arabic schools here in Uganda if you are not informed. Now, to go further on, why do Muslims, regardless whether you are African or Asian or American or Australian, why is it that you must read or recite the Quran in Arabic? Please quote this well. I didn't say reading the translation of the Quran. That's when you can do it in any language. But I mean reciting the Quran in its original language. Why should I do that if it is not me being inferior or having inferiority complex, as you said? Now, it all takes us back to the Quran. When the Quran was being revealed to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, this is what God, Allah the Almighty, told him. Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyan, that indeed I've revealed the Quran to you in Arabic. He's the one who last spoke to Allah, God the Almighty. Allah said He has revealed the Quran to him in Arabic. Why? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ, so that you may understand. So it makes sense that since the Prophet was an Arab, of course, as you said, why couldn't God reveal or speak to him in a language that he was born with? So he told him the Quran is in Arabic so that he may understand. There is a difference between revealing something to someone, but there is also a difference in understanding that message. So when he was recited to the Quran by the angel Gabriel from God, did he automatically understand it? No. The Quran said he had to be taught. As he says, Allamahu shadidul quwa, he was taught by one mighty in power. So this one clearly shows you that, not that because you speak Arabic, you will automatically understand the Quran. Get the point? The language in which the Quran is written, which is the classical standard Arabic language. I want you to get me well. The language in which the Quran is written in right now, which is the standard Arabic, according to ethnologue, is not spoken anywhere right now. There are no native speakers of that language right now. Don't think because somebody is from Saudi Arabia or from Yemen, he has an upper hand than me, who is an African, from understanding the Quran. Because they say, ethnologue still says, that the language which the Quran is written in, the classical one, the Fusha, is only understood by people who are literate, who they are the only ones proficient in that language. So it means for you to understand the Quran, you must study that Arabic. There is no superiority between anyone when the other people whom you think were born with the language also have to study, because we have seen cases whereby people go to these universities in Medina, Al-Azhar, different universities, and they go and study with Arabs. Even sometimes they even get better grades than Arabs. You find an African guy from Uganda goes to study in Medina with a Saudi guy, and the Saudi guy will get less marks in Arabic than the Ugandan guy. That's how the language is. You get the point? Because there are different dialects of Arabic that are spoken right now. Now, to show you that the Quran has stages of learning it, in which what you saw the children learning or reciting is one of them, which is the first stage, learning the rules of tajweed, which is a science of learning how to pronounce the Quran in the correct way. We Muslims have a way we pronounce the Quran. You don't just wake up one day because you know how to read an Arabic magazine or an Arabic article, then you think you can read the Quran. No, even if you're an Arab. If me as a Ugandan, I've studied the rules of tajweed, whether I have been watching news or reading magazines or newspapers without learning how to read the Quran, you can never beat me in any way, even if it's your language. After learning the rules of tajweed, you go to another level, which is either learning the Arabic language, the standard one. You now go to another level, which is called the tafsir. You get it? Learning the meanings of the words of the Quran. You get the point? Because the Quran is something which is supposed to be studied. You don't just wake up because I'm an Arab from Yemen, I understand everything. No. Even during the Prophet's time, he had to teach his companions what the Quran is meaning, although it was revealed in their language. For example, Allah says in the Quran, هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم, that he sent a messenger amongst the unlettered people, the illiterate people of those days during the Prophet's time, to do what? يتلو عليهم آياته. He was reciting to them the verses of Allah. So after reciting to them the verses of Allah, did they automatically understand everything because they are Arabs? Did they? No. Allah says وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ. He had to purify them using the Quran. You get it? Spiritually, as you say, there's no spiritual. You thought that is about spirituality and what. But he said, وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. And he taught them the book and the wisdom in the book. You see, the Quran is being revealed, but still the Prophet, him being an Arab and those people being Arabs, but still they had to teach them. Are you seeing this thing? So it's not that because somebody speaks Arabic, he's chilling in Dubai, you'll give him the Quran, yet he has never studied the Quran, that he will understand things. No. That's why you will never find Muslims just waking up anytime that, hey, God spoke to me, I open up a church or a mosque, then starts collecting money. No. You have to study. We have people from Uganda, Gambia, Kenya who go to study these things. Then they come to teach their people. You get it? They come to teach their people. And there's also another reason why the Quran is kept in Arabic language. Actually, let me not give you the reason, but let me give you the result why. You see, the Quran is the only book that has no versions, that has no edits, that has no editions, because it has been kept intact. Nothing has changed, nothing has been added in, nothing has been subtracted from, because it was kept in its original language. The message has been maintained. There's no way you will forge anything there if it's in its original language. Because Allah said, we reveal the book and we shall protect it. And one of the ways of protecting it is by keeping it in its original language. You get the point? Because if you start translating, you know, if you translate something into another language, of course you will get the message, but some part of the message will be lost. So if we have the original, we have people who have studied and they are giving us the meanings, and there are lots of books. Why would you have a problem? I don't see any problem with that. But for you, you want to make everything political, as if we Africans are these naive people, we cannot understand, we need to be liberated. You get it? The Quran is simple. It says, La ikraha fi din. There is no compulsion in religion. If you want, come. If you don't want, chill. You get it? Whoever believes, let him believe. Whoever does not want to believe, let him be. That's what the Quran speaks about. But you think we want to be forced, eh? Now, speaking about slavery, a lot of people have done things in the name of Islam, but what does Islam teach about those things they do? Like slavery now. Islam is clearly against slavery. Even in a verse, Allah says, fakku raqaba, that it is an honor to free a slave. During the Prophet's time, actually, there was more slavery. But what did he do? He taught his companions that if you have a slaves that they could buy from people, and then they free them, he told him, you are equal to a slave. Just basically turning this system of the society by and then to say nobody is above the other. So what they did with his companions, you buy a slave from those slave merchants who refuse to listen to the message. You buy them the slave, you free him. There's honor in that. But for you, because an Arab man came and did things to Africa, here you blame it on Islam. You must study, what does Islam teach about slavery. If it says you enslave people, that's where we should have a problem. But if it's against, you have to revise on your ways of doing your studies. You get the point? Otherwise, you will get wrong information. You get the point? Assalamu alaikum.